Hi, this is Daniel Posney, and this is called Shifting Perspectives. And this is about 15, 20 minutes of talking about a certain topic that comes up kind of right beforehand or the night before. And this one is about the practice of saying thank you. And let me read you something that my friend Anna Chio posted on Facebook today, and it relates to this. Practice wanting what you have instead of seeking what you don't have. What you have is the miracle now. What we don't have is often an illusion of something better or different. When we claim what we have now and honor it, then what becomes possible is falling in love with where we are, which of course changes the entire view of the landscape of what we do have. What we do have is ours to tend and nurture. Let's love what is here. So that plays into, amazingly plays into this practice of saying thank you. And, before I go into this, let me make sure that I cover what's going on in the future here. I got a men's retreat coming up in October for 4 days. And the last one was awesome. And a lot of guys learned a lot about healing anxiety and stress and insecurities and relationship and breath work and being on the land and cold plunge in the water and all kinds of fun stuff. So that's happening. And the other thing that I'm doing is I've added something to my calendar or to my events list since we moved into this new property. And it's something that now 15 people have wanted this. And so I put it up there as something that's available to everyone. It's starting off in the morning with a meditative walk around the medicine wheel that we have on the front of our property in Cornville. So we live on this 2-acre property in the countryside, 25 minutes away from Sedona, away from all the traffic and everything. And then after that meditation, we go to the other side of the property where there's 108 handmade or hand-built steps that lead down to the creek and to a purification lodge, otherwise known as a sweat lodge. So after that meditation, you'll do another meditation through the 108 steps and walking down the steep hillside and finally getting down to the sweat lodge and contemplating, discussing, discovering, hearing some insight, some intuition about what you discovered. And I'll be able to give that to each participant. And then we'll go into a light, very light purification, nothing like you're going to get really going to sweat your butt off and call mommy. But it's just going to be enough sweat so that you feel something, and we're in this together, and we'll sing songs and do some drumming and that kind of thing. So I've got 14 guys coming in to do that on one day. Then I got another guy that wants to do that in a private. So with that many people wanting that, I've decided to put that out there to whoever wants to sign up for that. So you can see that on ultimatepotentialcoach.com under Sedona experiences. So back to this. This practice of saying thank you, got to be careful with this one, because I know that for myself, when I thought about saying thank you, I was sometimes really saying F you. And what came out of my mouth was thank you, but what was in my mind was something else. And it was like, yeah, thank you, with some sarcasm. And it can't be like that. It needs to be, see, this whole practice is not just about being grateful and realizing that there's some things that you don't know that are being put into place by this, whatever just happened. But it's also about reestablishing yourself as the captain of your ship, realizing that your mind wants you to think otherwise. It wants you to think that this person is against you and they shouldn't do that. They should be a different way than what they are. And you're saying, thank you for being the way you are. Thank you for the gift that you just gave me. Thank you for whatever, I don't know what's coming out of this kind of thing. And it's really just you saying, even though my mind wants to react to this, there's something here. And if there's something is happening, and if it's happening, it's supposed to be happening. So it's a strong practice, and it does take some practice. But I was working with one of my clients this morning, and one of the questions came up about, what if I do all this work on myself and she just doesn't love me and give me the love that I need or support me? Or what if um, uh, she's into this spiritual bypass, and I see this thing on the outside to other people, she's all nicey nice, and then when it comes to us, we just argue. And there's the practice of saying thank you, because one thing is that you're going to say thank you for something that is, you can see right away that's going to benefit you. Thank you so much for making that delicious dinner. Thank you so much for seeing me and validating me, whatever the thing is. But the other part is that thank you so much for not making the dinner and causing those things to be stirred up in me that I've had before I met you. Thank you so much for not validating me, because that's something I need to work on. It becomes that kind of thing. And again, there's that thing of the mind doesn't really want to hear this stuff. The mind just wants to say everyone should just change to suit what my needs are. And it makes a very valid case. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, people should give you what you need. And yet there's some inner work to be done when your life feels out of balance, and you keep on running into the same pain and the same suffering emotionally, and especially in relationship. So the practice with him was to start practicing this thank you. And he says, but what if, I want to say thank you, and she is angry with me, and I know that there's going to be an argument coming out of this. Well, what you can do is, if you really want to say thank you, but you're pretty sure that when you say thank you, it's going to have an edge to it, like thank you, that kind of thing, that it's not going to be really authentic, then keep it to yourself, because your thing is not to stir up any more argument with the person. But you can say in your heart, I don't know what this is, but thank you for whatever's transpiring out of this. And then as you get more and more in practice of that, it becomes more and more embodied and more sincere. And you start realizing that, okay, I'm saying thank you and I'm triggered right now. Why am I triggered? Well, really the basic premise is that there's probably some insecurity there based on some kind of feeling unworthy or not enough or unloved or something. There's some insecurity there. And so it's kind of showing you right there that there is something there for you to look at. Thank you. This is not easy right now, but I'm saying thank you for whatever is being shown to me. So his thing is to practice that, even though he's, if you were to say it out loud, that he'd get some kind of argument and it would go into this big blow up again. And it's really is for him to start seeing that instead of her as someone that is using spiritual bypass, is not really doing her work, is just angry and not really working with anyone to resolve that she doesn't need to change. And I know that's so hard because it's not something that we're taught, that she is just fine the way she is, because the way that she is stirring up the same old stuff that he had in his childhood, same stuff, and the stuff that he judges. So it really is about him seeing her as sort of like a muse. She is here to stir up in me. And could it be that she's already an avatar, ascended master, coming into this body to help me resolve what I couldn't resolve on my own? So the other question came up is, I said, what do you think that she should be? How should she be that she's not right now? And he said, I gave off a kind of list of things that how she should be more supporting. She should be more loving. She should work on her shit. She should, be a little bit more productive and not so lazy and those kind of things. So the next question is, how should she be that you are? How should she be that you yourself are? And then it kind of narrows it down to things like, if you want someone to be this certain way and they're not, you don't feel that they are, and then you go, okay, hold on a second, am I that way? It really narrows it down to probably a couple or a few things that you can really honestly say that this person is not this way, but I'm this way. When it comes to that, like there is a way that he is, that's he's completely like, he dives into his stuff. He wants to understand things. He'll do anything to understand himself and pull away his egoic mind and get control of that. He knows his processes. He knows his insecurities. He's that kind of guy. Like he really is going to be a teacher of this stuff. And but she's not. So he wishes that she were more like him in that way, but she's not. So the one thing that for someone like that, that's like looking at those things and say, that person is not that way, and chances are they will never be that way. And here's where compassion comes in. Here's where understanding of the reality that's in front of you, that the person just doesn't have it within them, and they're not supposed to. Maybe this person just hasn't got that training in that area. And I know I've had that situation in past relationships where, God, I wish she was just more like this. I wish she was just more this way. But she's not. And it's because she's not that way that stirred up the stuff in me, my reaction that I need to work on. So what the people that work on themselves in this way, their shadow work, is to look at the things that if this person acts this way, what's my reaction? That's where the work is. My work isn't to worry about their work, but that's what came up with him. So his thing about, she was more like him, to be more in compassion with her, that she is just not that way. And she may never be that way. Let her be how she is. And if how she is isn't safe for you, or gets into abuse or anything like that, then he needs to make a decision on how far he wants to take this inner work. Gets to be kind of a fine line sometimes of, oh man, this is really stirring stuff up in me, and I'm still having a reaction. So obviously there's more work for me to do. But there's a kind of a line where you say, yeah, there's more work for me to do, but this is abusive, and I'm not feeling love or support or tenderness or all those things that I need as a human being. So there's a kind of a big decision. I don't take it lightly, and it's a decision for everyone. I guess the perfect place that you could get to, if we were like in a perfect world, is if you had resolved the reactions so much that when the same episode came up that would normally cause you a reaction, and you said something like, wow, this would have normally caused me a deep reaction. I know that I've had some really deep insecurities about this, I remember, but I'm really clear right now. And what I feel right now is the clarity to move on. I love you so much. And this is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And, let your emotions come out in what you're saying. But if you could have the clarity of no reaction and owning that this is yours to work on, but that the reaction piece is gone, and you just say, wow, I see that I haven't been loving myself, and that's been reflected on our relationship, something like that. That would be super clear. And it takes someone that's really been doing their work to do that honestly and sincerely, and not some kind of spiritual bullshit. It has to be something that you get a really real clarity with. I think that's all about on that topic. Valerie is home. She came home late last night. We got home about 1:30 last night. I picked her up from the airport. She looks amazing. She's, man, so beautiful. And we're both kind of getting down to our normal weight. I was normally sitting at around 168 or so. I've always been around 155 since I was a kid. And I'm down to about 154. And I feel like I could go down to about 150 and be really feeling good. Valerie saying that she could also lose a little bit more weight even too. And it just feels like when you do fasting, intermittent fasting, water fasting, all that stuff, everything kind of shrinks in, and everything runs so much better. And looking at older pictures of us, just a month or two ago, there's this puffiness that we got really used to in our skin, our neck, and our face. And when you do fasting, like all that stuff kind of shrinks down, and your blood and everything starts flowing so much better, and you've got less um, things in the way of your bright eyes and your flowing blood and all that. In fact, one last thing, I was with a client the other day, and he's a physician, and he was a surgeon, and he was talking about how, a little bit about his sex life, and how he's got some Cialis to help him out. And I asked him, what about your diet and that kind of thing? He says, well, I could eat a lot better, and you could tell he's got some normal inflammation in the body. He's about mid 40s or so. And you could tell that, he could lose probably 20, 25 pounds and still be really good. And he says, yeah, I really started to drink, a lot more than I did. It's pretty much every day, and, more than I need to. And I just had to ask him, what if you cleaned up your diet and you did some fasting and you quit drinking alcohol? Would you still need the Cialis? And it really wasn't something that he wanted to pursue, but that would be a question, is that if you're taking a medication to help something in your body that's not working right, what if you tried fasting, intermittent fasting even, which is like, not eating until 11 o'clock and not eating after 5 or 6 o'clock? It really makes a difference, and your body would adjust to that. And what if you drank less alcohol? What if you had less sugar in your life? Like, before we took medications to adjust something in our body, the symptom, what if we took command of that and empowered ourselves by making little changes like that? And it doesn't have to be a month-long thing like Valerie just got done doing, but 1 or 2 days, really you start to kind of feel yourself again, and get one of the things that really helps you get command of your body again. So someone needed to hear that. So thank you for listening, and hope you have a most wonderful day, and we'll talk next time. Thank you.